In a quiet little town, there lived an elderly man known for his peaceful and joyful nature. His gentle smile never seemed to fade, as though he had never known sorrow. People in the town often came to him for advice or simply to sit beside him whenever they felt low. His presence alone brought comfort, even without words. It felt as though he carried some secret about how to live a happy life. One day, a young woman came to visit him. She had faced many struggles in life and had often wondered how he stayed calm when others around him were falling apart. She softly asked, "You are always smiling, always peaceful. Don't you ever feel sad? Don't bad things ever happen to you?" The old man looked at her for a moment. Then he smiled and replied, "My life has been filled with pain, more than most people can imagine, but that pain also taught me something precious." The young woman sat down beside him, listening intently as he began to share his story. "When I was young," he said, "I was married and living happily with my wife. She loved me deeply. After some time, we were blessed with a daughter. We didn't have much money, but our small home was full of love." He paused, his eyes turning serious. "But then one day everything changed. My wife suddenly fell ill. Her treatment was costly, and we didn't have the means. We sold everything we owned, but still, she passed away quietly one night." The young woman's eyes softened with sympathy. "Even before I could recover from that loss," he continued, "tragedy struck again. My only daughter. One afternoon, she was walking home from school when a speeding truck hit her. She died instantly. I waited at home for her, not knowing she would never return." He took a deep breath. "With both my wife and daughter gone, I had no one left. My parents had passed away years before, and even my relatives drifted away. I was completely alone in this world." The young woman was silent. "There was a time," he said quietly, "when I questioned the point of living. I even thought about ending my life. One evening I walked to the riverbank ready to give up. I stood at the edge thinking, if I disappear now, no one will notice. No one will miss me." The young woman's eyes widened in shock. "But then, something stopped me. Maybe it was the sound of the wind or the gentle flow of the river. Maybe it was the thought that this was not how my story should end, or maybe deep inside I still believed there was something left to learn from life." He leaned back and continued. "So I gave life another chance. I decided not just to exist, but to truly live. I stopped asking why bad things happened. I began living in the present moment. I noticed the sunrise, the flowers, the laughter of children passing by. Slowly, the weight of my grief began to lift. I started working again, repairing old furniture. People liked my work and began coming to me. Gradually, I forgot some of my past pain and learned to live in the present. I realized happiness comes from within. You don't need perfect situations to feel joy. You can be happy in any situation, if you choose to be." The young woman asked softly, "And now, are you truly happy?" With peace in his voice, he replied, "Yes, because I no longer depend on the world to make me happy. I've made peace with my past, and every day I find something good, no matter how small. A bird singing, a stranger smiling, a warm cup of tea. There is always something to be grateful for if you are willing to see it. And when dark days come, I remind myself, this too shall pass. Pain never stays forever, and joy always finds its way back." The young woman stood up, deeply moved. "Thank you," she said. "You've changed the way I see life." From that day on, she began living differently, finding joy in the little things, staying strong during difficult times, and remembering that even in deep sorrow, peace was still possible. Soon, the old man's story spread through the town. People began to understand that happiness isn't about having a perfect life. It is about finding beauty in imperfection. He had no family left, no riches, no great legacy. Yet he gave the town something far more valuable: the wisdom to find peace in the present and the strength to carry joy even in the darkest moments. This story teaches us a simple but powerful truth. Happiness is a choice. We cannot always control what life brings. People we love may leave us. Plans may fall apart. Life can break our hearts in ways we never imagined. But even in the darkest times, we still have one power no one can take away: our power to choose how we respond. The old man lost everything: his wife, his only daughter, his family. He was left with nothing but pain, and yet he chose to live. He chose to find reasons to smile, not because life was perfect, but because he knew waiting for perfect moments would only bring more sorrow. He stopped depending on others for happiness. Instead, he found it in nature, in simple work, in kindness, and within himself. And that is the message we must carry forward. We can control what life brings, but we can control how we see it. We can choose to be bitter, or we can choose to be better. We can hold on to pain, or we can let in the light. Happiness doesn't come from outside, it comes from within. And it begins the moment we decide to look for the good, even when life feels unfair. So, my friends, this story reminds us to try to live happily no matter what life throws at us. Life may not be easy, but choosing happiness is always in our hands. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, please like and share it with others. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. I'll be back in the next video with another meaningful story. Until then, stay blessed and take care.